Let's talk today about fuel, when to use it and when not to use it as well. And a lot of us already know that at the back of mind. When we get to the later stages, of course we get a little bit more efficient in terms of every ounce of fuel that we use. But I want to share with you a couple of reasons why you might want to consider using that early, as well as sharing with you my thoughts. Some of you have already saw that I use quite a lot of fuel, and I'll explain some thoughts that are applicable to myself as well. And the first biggest reason why I think anyone should consider using a little bit of fuel is especially if, let's say, you have a couple of attempts left this week, and today maybe it's already like Sunday and stuff like that, and you want to just get a little bit more efficiency out of your account. If let's say I was maybe a Trailblaze level 49 now, and if I use up one fuel or a couple of fuels, I might go to the next tier level, I would definitely consider actually using a few pieces of fuel this week in order to jump to the next Trailblaze tier and get to the new rewards the following week. Because in a sense, the loss of that one fuel, you actually get it back in terms of the efficiency of getting not only, like, let's say you had 3 attempts, you get 3 attempts multiplied by the difference between this difficulty and this difficulty, which otherwise you would not have gotten. So I think that that's like the first and biggest rule, and it also compounds because if you pair it together with this other factor, which is the simulated universe. For those of you who don't know, if you see here, my point score is actually 5,000, and if you go ahead and click on it, some of you might have the first tier rewards, which is like 3.5k, and you might be noticing, why is it different from others, the one that you see on screen, and some people might even have higher ones. And the reason for that, if you go up here in terms of rules and you click, notice that when point tiers increase, when equilibrium level increases, better rewards with a higher points tier. What this means is, if you are on the tipping edge of like 39 going to 40, you want to get to that next tier before the week resets, so you can actually get quite a lot of efficiency. For example, I don't know what's the next tier. Maybe you, instead of having 4 emulsifiers at my current tier level, maybe the subsequent one is going to be like 6 emulsifiers. In that sense, the break-even point, for example, for using that fuel, you definitely instantly get it back, especially if you get the week reward ahead. That is going to be much more value as well. You can always watch my account as you are watching the videos to see like what's the next tier rewards, so you can also make a better judgment in terms of like estimating. And that's like the point of why, for example, content creators like to use a lot of fuel and refresh as well, so that we can get ahead, because we are kind of like sacrificing our account's efficiency in a sense of providing information as well as knowledge to help others, members of the community, become more efficient as well. And that's like the reason in terms of going back to, for example, my opening image, why do I only have 2 fuels in the account so far? And it's really because I want to like help go ahead, create content and make mistakes ahead of everyone, to do my job as a content creator, to help people avoid such pitfalls and mistakes as well. So I think it's really depending on certain situation. It's nice to keep the fuel all the way, and a lot of people might be asking this question, of course, is once you hit Trailblaze level 40, and a lot of us are seeing, for example, this Cavern of Corrosion, and we see the gold tier, very, very juicy gold tier gear straight on already. And a lot of us are wondering, should we use our fuel so that we can get a lot of these tier 5 gear? And my honest opinion is I don't really think so, because a lot of us don't have information, for example, whether difficulty 3 versus difficulty 6, do these drop maybe 2 or 3 per run? In that case, we will be at a 50% inefficiency. We are getting much less for the fuel that we get. And if you think about it, do we really need that much gold tier gear that early on? My honest answer is I don't really think so. Unless we are rushing to clear endgame content like the Memory of Chaos very early on, I think that holding it for the long term might be an even better option as well. And just doing like dailies, if you're not rushing to be like number 1, there's no leaderboard and there's no like prize for being the top as well. So go ahead and just be efficient in your account, take your time, just do this on the daily, get some resources, and once I have more information in terms of whether these further stages give us a tremendous amount of benefits, I'll definitely be sharing with us as well. But one thing I can say for sure, if you look at this tier number 6, there's no longer any blue drops. But if you look at this tier number 3 and the rest of them, you still see, for example, these blue drops over here as well. And we are actually progressing as a community very quickly through these difficulty levels already. It's now only barely into like the first week, maybe the second week, and a lot of us are already, especially the first few runners in terms of content creators as well as people who use their fuel, are probably at 40 plus already, and we will very very soon be hitting the later stages, so we are able to give you much more informed decisions as well. So do stick around if you want to know more information about fuel and its efficiencies. And I've already have many guides on the channel in terms of if you are certain Trailblaze level, what are the more efficient ways to use your daily amounts of Trailblaze energy. Do check it out if you're interested, and I highly recommend most people, other than for the reasons mentioned, to save their fuel for a rainy day. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next video.